Hello to the Cape Fiore Floral Design team, and thank you so much for having me here today to speak with you all about this major project that we have been working on the back half of this year, talking about media plans, communication plans, connecting with your target audience, all of this exciting stuff. I feel like we have been going back and forth with emails for the past I don't know, 6 months ago it seems like is when we started. And so it's nice to be here as we end out the year to meet and plan and talk about the next steps as we step into this. I'd like to pause for a moment before we get into the details of today's meeting to discuss why we are all here. I think it's essential that we set our minds on the right track of at the end of the day, what are we looking to accomplish and what matters for KFFD as an organization, and how can Full Design Company help you meet those goals and those needs? Now, it's no secret that there is a growing desire for creative, exquisite, and even some unusual floral designs in the wedding and private event industry. You all do a phenomenal job as my team has looked through and learned about who you are as an organization. We have just seen how you have grown since the start of your company and how the skills have been developed and the communications have begun to be tailored and the services provided are being narrowed down and specified and mastered for your clients. It's also very clear that a goal that you all have and a priority is that you have to tailor things to match the unique needs and desires for each of your clients. And so I'd like to kick off with letting you know that while I may not be a flower designer, we operate quite similarly in a sense of each of my clients has unique needs, unique styles, and unique goals that are essential to increasing overall effectiveness and business success. It's been a pleasure to work with you all, and I hope to continue working together after this proposal to tailor in what does the Cape Fiore floral design team need? What are priorities for you all? And as we are communicating and advertising and promoting through public relations, we don't want to lose sight of who this team is and what the priority is and why we started what we do. I know I sucked up a quite bit of time to say that, but I feel like it's essential that you all know my heart as we start this media plan proposal. But we will get into the nitty gritty of things and the good stuff. So let's start out with an agenda. I don't plan to keep you all for long, hopefully for less than 10 minutes. And then we can plan a more detailed meeting after this, following up on the agendas and the areas that you'd like to focus on. We'll be discussing your communications, the product cycle, reach and frequency goals, current media planning elements, a SWOT assessment. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that may impact and come towards your company if you haven't identified any on your own. A communications matrix, suggestions, and then the next steps. So we don't want to leave you hanging. So we'll kick it off with communications. What is the importance of communications with the consumers? Well, it's essential. In any relationship that you have, communicating is going to be a key factor for long term success and the way that we communicate. I think about a scripture in Proverbs 16 and 24 that says, kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. The words that KFFD is speaking, even if it's not just in a phone call conversation or in a face to face meeting with a client, it's going to make a difference on how the target audience responds and what that course of action looks like. Examples of your communications would be your website. How are you talking on your website? Word of mouth. What are other people saying about you, and what are you saying to other people about you? Your social medias. What picture are you painting, or what floral bouquet are you building to showcase to those that are looking for a wedding florist. Search engines, what's Google saying, and other traditional marketing like website, blogs, newspaper, news articles, things of that nature. And we've got to have key objectives when we are talking about these things. We've been analyzing, addressing, and implementing different media strategies. We're going to continue to do that to increase the effectiveness and business success. Excuse me, I cannot talk today. But we want to talk about the message points, the target audiences, the need for awareness, the service strengths, and the geographic distribution. I think that it's awesome on your website. You all talk about wanting to go across the globe almost, being willing to travel for these private events and these weddings. We can also increase by having a presence on local college campuses, bridal shops, and doing trade shows, just to name a few. Your product cycle. So this is going to be talking about the amount of time that people have until it's removed, the amount of time that people have with your product, with your ads, with your services, things of that nature. So we can break it down and look at how long have you been around. As you all know, I know you know your business better than anybody knows it, but you were born, so to speak, around 2015, and I'm sure the idea was birthed before then. You guys have excellent ratings on the Wedding Wire and great reviews. I believe that with our help and with our services, that number can jump from the 20s where it's currently at to where if you're servicing 100 weddings a year, 50 weddings a year, whatever that goal number is that your team has identified, we're making sure that we're doing our due diligence to follow up and continue to build those ratings and reviews. And you have a fabulous specialized service packages that you guys are getting into. We want to ask ourselves these three questions as we're talking about product cycle. I want to know, where have you been? Where are you going? And how is Cape Fiore Floral Design going to flourish? It's got to be more than just doing the day to day and then hoping that there's a clear increase in demand and desire for services. We've got to be intentional with our actions and intentional with our efforts to reach that. I know you think that probably math is over for your life, but you're never truly done with math in a sense of reach and frequency goals. Math does come into play with marketing. Reach goals are the numerical number to reach a solid measure of how many people are exposed to one of your media campaigns. The good news is that many platforms, the Meta platform specifically, is going to determine those things for you. The importance of it is that it's going to give you a clear evaluation of impact, opportunities to optimize strategy. You're going to be able to see that return on investment, refine the targeting needs, and address where your money is being spent. How effective is your marketing strategy? We can measure those things and then adjust it as needed. Frequency goals. When are specific individuals and audiences at large seeing your content? It's going to get down to the nitty-gritty. Your brand recall and recognition, messaging reinforcement, behavioral influence, a competitive edge, conversion improvements, adapting attention spans, optimizing the current media plan, and gaining a clear measure of effectiveness is what's going to come from these numbers. The importance of measuring those numbers. Again, we never just want to do anything on a whim and hope that it's working, but we want to create balance to grow effective marketing strategies to align your message with your audience behavior, maximizing exposure, making sure that your brand is set apart so that you have long-term success as an organization. The current media elements. Let's pause for a minute. We talked about a lot of math, talked a lot about information. Can we go around the room for a minute and name one positive thing about the current media plan strategy, even if it's not a professional plan, even if it is just doing the best that you can with the limited time I'm sure you have as a growing business. And then the second is, what's a growth opportunity? What's something that you've identified that I'd love to see this be the best version, but I'm not able to do it? Great. Now let's talk about it. Right now, KFFD is growing. I've seen you all in blogs on wedding sites. You have a current wonderfully done website that showcases beautiful photos. Social media accounts that aren't always active, but there are posts here and there. Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, you're familiar with those. The SWOT analysis of these sites, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths are that you have creative designers, quality suppliers, you're in a good location, you have that customer loyalty. Weaknesses might be the seasonal demand, perishable inventory, competition with other florals, and a dependence on that supplier. Opportunities is to grow your online presence, to do some event collaborations that our organization specializes in, subscription services, potentially growing that in the future, and specialized services that you all, I would say, are taking advantage of. Threats, economic downturn, online competitors, floral availability, and a change in the customer preference from those key designs that you have. But something tells me that you can take any threat and turn it into an opportunity if you do your due diligence in planning ahead of time. A communications matrix. This is just going to talk about where you're at, what those different things mean. Now, I'm going to move through this kind of briefly because I want everyone to be able to take a look at that document that's in front of them in talking about brand maturity, awareness, competitive category, advertising, and type of response. It's going to give you a little bit more details about what I mean when I say a low brand maturity. It's it's been in the market for over 5 years, so it seems to be maturing quite well. Your content seems to be pretty average. I don't see you're booming amongst the wedding floral industries, but you don't have just a dwindling following either. I think that we can work together to increase that. Some other areas that are high and the advertising campaign is quite high. The good thing with that is that you engage through the audience through interaction, involvement, searches, and other brand awareness tactics. So I'll give you all a minute to review that document in front of you. I don't want to waste too much of your time on this. And then we can circle back around to the communications matrix. Suggestions that I would have to implement to make Cape Fior Floral Designs an even stronger brand and to increase those goals that we've been talking about are to implement new ideas and strategies for reaching the desired target. It's a never-ending process that involves constantly searching out new research, development of theories, establishing a clear relevance, and continuing to improve those practices. Together, we will develop a clear understanding of your target audience, the communication objectives, key messages that need to be sent, media channels, your budget allocation, talk about a content calendar of when you're posting. Yes, you can curate exactly when you're going to post, how you're going to post, what you're going to be geared towards, and what goals you want to see come out of a campaign. Public relations efforts, influencer collaborations, implementing methods for collecting feedback. We want to be sure that we're getting that feedback of how can we be doing better and how from our previous clients, what do you think that the next client might need? The next step is going to be to talk about a communication plan at our next appointment. We'll build out an executive summary, situational analysis, marketing objectives and strategies, the role of communication, dive down into communication objectives, strategies, tactics, budgets, flowcharts, testing and evaluations. Does it sound like a lot? We definitely don't want for it to overwhelm you, which is why I wanted to keep this meeting brief today. All of you have my business information. I have it up on the screen behind me as well. But what I want to get across is that there are so many things that are going well for Cape Fiore Floral Design. But there are also a lot of areas that, with some key help and with some building to meet the needs and the desires and the style of KFFD, you can take those numbers and take the wedding industry that you're currently in and see it continue to grow. See your weaknesses start to change. See your strengths start to become stronger, taking advantage of those opportunities that you thought may have never been possible. A tailored communication and media plan will help you get those things done. Understanding the target audience, budget allocation, evaluating your metrics, outstanding presence on media channels, and establishing clear overall direct objectives will help promote you all to be the most sought after floral design company on the East Coast. And I believe that Full Design Company would be the perfect fit to help you meet those needs. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to talking with you all. Please review those packets and let me know what questions you have.